Good morning once again. Welcome to the our September 9, 2025 Public Health and Safety meeting. We have been gone since July 8th. So with that, I start with roll call. I'm here.
I'm here.
Okay. Kelly, can I get approval for our July 8th meeting, please?
You can. I move to approve.
Okay. Second. Should we then take a vote since it's just two of us?
Sure.
Okay.
I vote
I,
yes.
I vote yes. Okay, that is done with. And the next agenda is the interlocal agreement with the Tonawanda School District for the School Resource Officer Program and the Police Department. Chief, are you going to be giving that presentation?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, please. Go ahead.
All right, council members, thank you for this opportunity. I apologize for my voice. I am on the tail end of a cold at the point where I feel really good, but I sound really, really bad sometimes. So, back in July, we presented the SRO contract for consideration. Include that it's under section of that should meet the need and the want. Additionally, in the time since we've met with you last, we've also started working with the school district on how that data is collected and how it is cleaned up and moved into report format. And I expect you will see a really great product going forward. I'm really excited about the work that's being done by Deputy Chief Keelis, Lieutenant Cole, and Doc Bowers on this, along with our SROs. And then ancillary, this isn't about the contract itself, but since we met last, we have selected a new school resource officer. Detective Rollman has retired. And Detective Seth Stoffer has stepped in to take his place, and we're very excited about that.
Thank you, Chief. And I look at the agreement, and indeed on the eighth last bullet point, I see the data collection listed in there. And I did this during the back and forth, and that seems to be correct. So haven't said that. Kelly, do you have any comments?
I don't. So I move that we place the intergovernmental agreement with the Tumwater School District for school resource officers on the September 16th, 2025 City Council consent calendar with a recommendation to approve and authorize the mayor to sign.
Second. And then I call for the vote. I vote yes.
I vote yes.
So that passed unanimously. So Chief, I think we are up and running. That is done. Thank you very much.
We appreciate it.
Chief.
Thank you for helping us in this process.
Thank you, Chief. So I think on that note, we will go back to kind of lost my screen for a minute here. The Tonawanda Safe Program briefing by the Executive Department. Lisa, are you going to be doing that?
Yes, very briefly.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, this is on the agenda because it's been requested to be on both this agenda as well as the City Council agenda. So I was checking back in and wanted to make sure that I was providing an opportunity for any questions to be asked related to the information that I conveyed in an email sent to the City Council back on August 29th that basically summarized what had happened most recently, basically the month of August. Around the Tumwater Safe program issue. So just in summary, there was an email from Ms. Keating, Lisa Keating, who's the executive director of the LGBTQ Commission, the Washington State LGBTQ Plus Commission. She was asking about the program. I have answered to the degree that I'm capable based on my limited knowledge of the program. And so I asked John Doan, I had met with him already, to try and get more details about the program. And when her email came in, I called John and I asked him if he would be willing to provide an explanation directly to Ms. Keating, which he did. That email was forwarded to council members on August 29th. I subsequently met with Ms. Keating and had a wonderful meeting with her, talked about the program from the state's perspective, which she acknowledged there were lots of questions based on the initial executive order that created the impetus for the Tumwater Safe program, as well as the other state, the state agency focused, state capital focused program, and I acknowledge that 2016 executive order is something that they perhaps need to look at on the state agency side. Acknowledge that it was a program that the state agencies had implemented with a few jurisdictions. I think Tumwater may have been just one of approximately 5, I believe is the number that she mentioned. And she talked about needing to check back in with her colleagues at the state level, as well as with those local governments, and see what the status of these programs were. And based on some of the things that we talked about in terms of the challenges, those that were mentioned by John Doan in his email to her, as well as those that have been shared with me since I've been here by staff members who were trying to work on that program. It was a great conversation about getting together with the state to, again, kind of work through some of these issues. So we have another meeting that Brittany is trying to work on getting set up with Ms. Keating, as well as the Washington State Patrol division that I believe it's called the Cultural and Engagement Division, that's charged with implementing this kind of work, as well as all of the work I believe that the WSP is working on in terms of LGBTQ plus type issues, vulnerable populations, those types of things. So that meeting is still, we're still working on trying to get that scheduled. So that will be upcoming. I can report on that at some time in the future. After the meeting with Ms. Keating, I had a meeting with both you, Councilmember Agabe, as the chair of the Public Health and Safety Committee, as well as the mayor, given that there had been 2 different requests to have this item discussed at both the Public Health and Safety, as well as the City Council. And so I briefed Councilmember Agabe and the mayor on everything that I had learned. And that's when that strategy was developed to that was outlined in the August 29th email to council, which is basically provide the background information to the full council from John Doan, which I did. Continue to meet with Ms. Keatings and others from the state agencies to gather and share more information. That is a work in progress. We were talked about completing the ordinance that creates the Equity Commission. When I met with Ms. Keating, she was supportive of the idea of using the Equity Commission as a venue and a forum within which the community could have difficult conversations, not just about the challenges of the LGBTQ community, but also the challenges of all of our vulnerable populations in Tumwater, including those where we are talking about racial tensions, which we've talked about numerous times in the past year or two, specifically under with me. She actually had some suggestions of people that she had formerly been working with who might be good members potentially of an Equity Commission. And we are going to continue to talk to her about that. And Kelly Adams is working on drafting that Equity Commission ordinance so we can bring it forward to the council, hopefully still this fall. Kelly was instrumental in helping to establish the City of Lacey's Equity Commission, which is a good model, I believe, for the City of Tumwater. And hopefully we will have something for you to review in the near future. And then we are working to include an action item in the draft strategic plan that really prioritizes support for the work of the Equity Commission, which the first step will be for the Equity Commission to be established, and then to be members to be appointed according to whatever the parameters are that are set in the ordinance itself. And then to have that equity commission begin to meet and facilitate the work to create a work plan for them moving forward. What are their first steps going to be? What are their first projects going to be? That type of thing. So that is what I have for you this morning. I'm happy to answer any questions. And I'm happy to keep this on as a regular update item as we begin to make additional progress. And with that, Councilmember Agave, I can answer any questions anybody might have.
Thank you. Kelly, do you have a question? Do you have any?
No, I think that this is a great start. And so I look forward to hearing what progress is made. Can I just make a comment? When I really love people first language. So instead of saying vulnerable communities, if we could say things like frontline communities or communities who face barriers, because vulnerable communities kind of has a negative connotation to it.
Of course.
So if I may add to that, the language with which we describe the community should be left to the Equity Commission to do that.
I'm just saying, as someone who has some background in equity framed language, it's a trigger for me. So I just like to
I
be
understand
mindful.
what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying, so the other day you made a comment about we're not going to hold the city's hand or the mayor's hand to events that are taking place now when some other mayor is going to come in new. So all I'm saying is using your same exact phrasing, we are going to leave what the phrasing is to the Equity Commission, whatever they want to call it, so that way we're not interfering in what they decide that they want to do.
Fair.
Thank you. So, Lisa, I have some questions. So, I heard you mention the Equity Commission several times, and you said that there's going to be an actual item in the strategic planning session, and I believe that is what in about a week or two, our planning session.
So actually, the strategic plan is going to be reviewed over the course of the next several council work sessions beginning tonight. And the strategic plan, just like the strategic priorities and goals that we have been operating under, is going to have action items that are going to be those that have been identified by council as important things that we should be working on. And one of the things that we are going to ensure is incorporated into those action items is going to be the support for the work of the Equity Commission, and in order for the council to prioritize that work for us moving forward. And actually tonight, in the regular work session is when we're going to be covering the action items that are identified in two of the 6 focus areas. And one of those focus areas that we're going to talk about tonight is health and safety, which it used to be called public health and safety. We now call it health and safety based on the council's input on the 28th of June. The other focus area we're going to be talking about is the vibrant, livable, inclusive communities. And so all the action items that we've identified there. And so tonight is going to be a good opportunity to see what those focus area work plans for the council, those action items look like, and to be able to help us through the prioritization process for the activities within those focus areas. So, and then lastly, quickly as a reminder and as a plug, we have our work sessions on the staff side are going to be hybrid format. So we're required by the Open Public Meetings law to have a physical location for people to attend our meetings, and that's the minimum requirement. And so we are going up until now, we used to have the fire station EOC room, which is a very small room across from the big training room, as our physical location for our work sessions. we're moving that into the council chambers, and the city staff are going to be working from the chambers for those meetings. So if there's any way at all for council members to come in person, especially as we're having these conversations around the strategic plan and the council's priorities moving forward, it's similar to what we did with our budget workshops last year when we had council members in person. We're hopeful that as many of you as possible are able to come, recognizing that there are still reasons why it's awesome to be able to have those virtual options. So that was a very long answer, Councilmember Agave, to your very short question.
Thank you. So, and you also talked about you hope that the Equity Commission will take up the Tonawanda State Program issue. So, we have been talking about the Equity Commission for a while now. Do you know, and if you don't know, you could say so, when this Equity Commission is going to be functional, or when at least there is some kind of a functional initiation?
Yeah, so the goal has always been to try and do this in 2025. It's been a busy year, so no excuses, just by way of explanation. And the plan is for Kelly, as a commitment to an acknowledgement of these ongoing challenges and issues, we're going to get this Equity Commission ordinance in front of the council as soon as possible. There's Kelly. She's got something to say, I'm sure, but the idea is that we've got this draft. We're going to get it in front of council and hopefully have the actual ordinance. We first have to adopt the ordinance. The council needs to adopt the ordinance establishing the Equity Commission. And then Equity Commission members need to be appointed. And then the Equity Commission itself needs to have support identified, including staff support, as well as it will take some resources. And then we will begin working with them right away. As soon as we have a number of people appointed and we're ready to begin work with them. And, they will begin to talk about their bylaws and they will begin to talk about their work plan. And the idea is to try and identify the issues that are most specific and important and particular in the city of Tumwater, and to have that Equity Commission help us identify what those are, and to begin to identify alternatives for different types of programs that could be utilized to address those concerns. And as with all advisory boards and commissions that are appointed by city councils, these are people, and the charge is delivered by the ordinance from the council to this group of volunteers to help do the study and the work and the detailed discussion about different topics that the council would like to have advice on. And so anything and everything that the Equity Commission will do is first outlined in the ordinance, but then their work will be constantly reported back to the council. And they will make recommendations to the council for action to take as they go through their investigative process and deliberative process. Kelly, did you want to add anything in terms of the timeline?
Sure, I'm here to support you, Lisa. So what we're doing right now is we're writing this ordinance, we're drafting it, but also shopping that around with staff to make sure that that draft is really reflective of Tumwater's culture and where we want to go, and then sitting down with council members and the mayor to make sure that we don't want to bring you a draft at a council meeting or a work session that isn't most of the way there. So making sure that it reflects Tumwater's history and groups that are experiencing barriers. And yeah, so really doing the groundwork of talking to staff and council and the mayor to make sure that we've got something that really reflects where we want to go. And also later this month, there's going to be a regional meeting of the equity groups of the equity commissions that Lacey is hosting. So I'll be attending that as well to make sure that if there's best practices out there that are really working out in the field, that we're adopting those. So more to come on that, but I'm here to support my city administrator and let you know that the work is happening.
Thanks, Kelly.
So haven't had all of that, and I'm looking at the calendar, knowing that time is of the essence. I'm going to attempt to summarize what I thought I had, is that the ordinance is almost ready. You just need to make sure that it has all the items or languages that befits Tumwater, and you're attending the meeting tonight to see if there's anything that you could add. Did I summarize that correctly?
Yeah, the meeting
I-
of the regional groups is on the 22nd.
Okay.
And so
Okay.
what I imagine, and Administrator Parks can correct this, is we're getting through strategic planning and our budget amendment. So I think the timing of this would be after those processes. Does that sound right, Administrator Parks?
I think actually it's going to be running concurrent. So my hope was to be able to get this done before the end of October, to at least have the ordinance adopted before the end of October. And so that means probably a work session and then council work and then a council meeting.
Great.
Councilmember Holtz, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was just wondering who all, Kelly, do you know who's all going to be in attendance on that September 22nd meeting? Is it Lacey and the county or?
I believe it's Olympia, Lacey, and I'm not sure quite about the county, so I will find out and report back.
Okay, thank you.
So getting back to the calendar question, because I am very vested in having a Tumwater Equity Commission stood up before Christmas. Because whatever you present before council, there's always going to be amendments. So having said that, I do not see, at least in my opinion, any reason, knowing fully whether it's going to be amendment, why we should keep holding or hold off. So if we can get this before council by the 21st of October, I think that would be very, 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 very well received.
Okay, absolutely. It's much easier to hit a deadline that's written down in black and white than it is a moving deadline. So we will put it on the work session for October 14th. And hopefully then we can put it on the October 21st council meeting. And even if the council decides they want to take a one more shot at it, that would be, I believe the next business meeting for the council is then November 3rd.
Correct.
Right. So that
Correct.
gets us, that gets it established, and still prior to Christmas.
Correct. Correct. So Kelly, do you have
Chair,
any questions? Yes.
it would, I think our meeting would actually be on November 2nd, so we'd be a day early because of the election.
Oh,
That,
isn't
actually, the November 3rd is a day early. It's already, the 3rd reflects the Monday, the 3rd.
yeah, because
Oh, okay.
second is a Sunday.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes.
that'll be a Seahawk game, so I won't be available. So
Well, I hope they win. So having said that, so we are shooting for in October 14, maybe 21st, and then to have something before council on Monday, November 3rd.
Well, we will have it in front of council on Tuesday, October 21st. So we'll
Okay.
work session on Tuesday, October 14th. If the council's fine with it then, and we're able to make enough changes, we'll have it tentatively on October 21st for action. And then if, we will also hold a spot for it on November 3rd, Monday,
Okay.
November 3rd, in case the October 21st is too soon after the October 14th work session.
Even better. Thank you. Thank you. So on that note, I am not going to belabor the interlocal agreement and the Equity Commission issue anymore. I will leave that to when it happens. So, boy, we're going to be done very early today. Kelly, do you have any items for the additional item? I don't have any.
I wouldn't dare.
Well, you could try. We'll listen.
No, I'm
Well,
good.
On that note, Lisa, do you have any other item that you want to present for additional item?
I do not. Thank you, Councilmember Agabi.
Okay, and I think Chief is gone, so I don't think they have any either. So on that note, I think we are adjourned at what time is it? 8:25, and I will see you guys tonight during our work session. You guys have a great day.
I
Bye.